Hello, Algebra 2 students. This is a lecture on section 4.10, which is about writing quadratic functions in models. Throughout chapter 4 so far, we started out by graphing quadratic equations. That was section 4.1 and 4.2. 4.3 to 4.8, roughly, we solved quadratic equations. Now we are going to spend one section talking about how to write a quadratic function. There's basically going to be two different ways that we're going to do this with examples of each. So this question is asking for you to write a quadratic equation for a parabola with a vertex at 1, -2 that also passes through the point 3, 2. All right, because I give you the vertex in this question, that's actually an indicator that you are going to write this equation in vertex form. Vertex form, of course, is y is equal to a times x minus h squared plus k. And you should have this written in your notes in section 4.2 that this is vertex form. The x value of your vertex is going to be h, and the y value of your vertex is going to be k. So you are going to put 1 in for h and -2 in for k. When I do that, I'll have y is equal to a times x minus 1 squared minus 2. This would actually be the right answer if I only knew what the value of a is. And so my goal is going to be to discover what a is and then write it back in this form with a filled in. I don't actually know what a is, but I do know that it must go through the point 3, 2. So what I'm going to do with this additional point is I'm going to plug the 3 in for x and the 2 in for y. And once I have the 3 in there for x and the 2 there for y, I can solve for a. I can figure out what a is using, solving for a variable. So 3 is going in for x and 2 is going in for y. When I do that, I would have y is equal to, or 2 is equal to a 3 minus 1 squared minus 2. Using my order of operations and all of that fun stuff, I would do 3 minus 1 first and get 2 squared minus 2. 2 squared is 4. And of course, I'm trying to solve for a. I would add 2 to both sides. 4 is equal to a times 4. And what do you know? A is just 1. Therefore, my final answer is going to be y is equal to 1, or I don't even need to write the 1 there, right? X minus 1 squared minus 2. So I could also write this as y is equal to x minus 1 squared minus 2. It would be an awesome task for you to type this into your graphing calculator and make sure that its vertex is at 1, -2, and make sure that when the x value is 3 in the table, the y value happens to be 2. But I feel very confident that this is the right answer. So this would be it. Of course, I could ask you to convert this into standard form if I wanted to. I'm not going to in this example on your quiz or on your test. I'm going to just expect you to leave it in whatever form is most convenient. Why don't you guys go ahead and pause it here and try this one. This is the exact same level of difficulty. I give you the vertex and an additional point and expect you to write this equation in vertex form. So hopefully you've tried that. Let's see how you did. Remember, vertex form is y is equal to a x minus h squared plus k, where h is the x value of the vertex. So this would end up being x plus 3, because you'd have x minus a -3. And then you'd have plus 1. Remember, we don't know what a is, and that's what we need to figure out. So what we're going to do is we're going to plug this in for x and this in for y to solve for a. So when you plug in 0 for x, that would be just 3 on the inside, because 0 plus 3 is 3. 3 squared plus 1, and the y value is going to be -8. Continuing to solve this, negative 8 is equal to, what we would do first is we would square the 3, which would give us 9a plus 1. And then we're solving for a. Subtract 1 on both sides. Negative 9 is equal to 9a, so a is equal to negative 1. Once you know a, you're going to substitute it back in right there, and that would be our quadratic equation. Y is equal to negative 1, or we could just write the negative sign, x plus 3 squared plus 1. So that is one of the types of questions that I could be asking you. Remember, what I did was I gave you the vertex, and I gave you a point, and I expected you to write a quadratic equation with that. The other type of question from this section is not going to be me giving you the vertex, but instead I'm going to give you the x-intercepts. If I give you the x-intercepts, that's an indicator to you that it's going to be intercept form that you would use. And this is intercept form. Y is equal to a times x minus p in parentheses times x minus q in parentheses. The p and the q are going to be the two x-intercepts. So you're just going to plug negative 1 in for p and 4 in for q. So you'd have y is equal to a x plus 1, because it's x minus a negative 1, x minus 4. Once again, this would be your final answer, except you need to have the a term filled in. So what you're going to do is you're going to use this point, and you're going to plug the x value of the point in for x and the y value of the point in for y to solve for a. So 2 is now going to equal, we still don't know what a is, but 3 is going to go in for x, 3 plus 1, and 3 minus 4. We should be able to solve for a. First, we would figure out that 3 plus 1 is 4, and 3 minus 4 is negative 1. So 2 is equal to, multiplying these would give you negative 4. So we could say negative 4 times a. We always like to put the number in front if we can. Divide both sides by negative 4, and you're going to find out that a is equal to negative 1/2. Remember, you would just take that negative 1/2, substitute it in for a there. So this equation would be y is equal to negative 1/2 x plus 1 x minus 4. It should have intercepts at negative 1. Remember, the intercepts can be found at what makes this 0, so negative 1, and what makes this one 0, 4. And it should go through the point 3, 2. Once again, you could type this into your graphing calculator and verify that its intercepts are at negative 1 and 4, and verify that it goes to the point 3, 2 if you wanted. We just have one more. Go ahead and try it. See how you do. Once again, this is giving you the intercepts. That's an indicator to you that we're going to use intercept form. X minus p, x minus q. You're going to plug in the two intercepts that are given to you. Negative 2 would go in for p, and 5 would go in for q. Y is equal to a x plus 2, because we're substituting negative 2 in. X minus a negative 2 would be x plus 2. X minus 5. Once we know a, we just write it here, and this would be our final answer. But we don't know a yet, so we're going to substitute 6 in for x, and 2 in for y. 2 is equal to a times, this is 8, and this is 1. So 2 is equal to 8a, divide by 8, divide by 8. A is equal to 1/4. Our final answer here would be this, with a filled in. So y is equal to 1/4 x plus 2 and x minus 5. Please go ahead and let me know if you have any questions. I would be happy to help.